Hello Aquarius, thank you for coming back to the channel if you're a returning subscriber. If you're new to the channel, thank you for joining me. I do wish you a very, very happy 2020 yeah, all strength to you to move forward. This is a general reading, so aspects of it may apply to you, or it may apply to somebody else that you're interacting with at the moment. You can see how the energies are interchangeable. But there may also be aspects that you are aware of that influence you. For instance, where your moon sign is, or your Venus, where that is located, or maybe your ascendant is very strong in a different sign. And if you are subject to influences like that from a different sign, then you can cross-watch to my other videos to get more insights. This is a general reading. So just use whatever you can from there. I've already laid out the cards. I've already shuffled. I use the 12 houses of the zodiac. So as the cards are appearing in each house, then those are the influences that are coming to bear for you at this time. Overall influence, bottom of the deck was Yod Destiny. So this is exactly what it says. It is a destiny card. There is fate involved in this. So whatever is going down is kind of on your path, and it's just the way it is. But you must have trust and faith that things are going to work out on their own. But with this card coming in, what it is saying to you is that you're kind of carving your own way and your own path at this time. All these, everything you're going through and all the events that are happening, they're all purposeful. And it's all about finding your own truth and your own way. And you can only do that. You can only do that by going into sort of deep contemplation and actually consulting your own inner self, which already knows the way. So it's a kind of connecting with that inner knowing. You may not have support and advice at this time on how to proceed. Your path may not be clear. There's a kind of a pioneering element to this energy. So just see how it plays out for you. Health issues may be coming up right now, so pay attention to anything like allergies or autoimmune issues, or some of them may not be life-threatening, but nonetheless you need to deal with them because it may be affecting your overall outlook. With this card, some sacrifices may be required from you, and patience and trust that you will actually make your way. Make your way forward. Then in the first house, we have Jupiter return benefits. Your first house is your house of self, your physical body, your vitality, your life force. It's also, how you're making your way in the world, your attitude, your outlook to things, how people are perceiving you currently, what you're projecting outwards. So your personality and your characteristics are also dictated by that. So maybe influenced by this. So with Jupiter return coming in, benefits, it's a lovely card to be having. So something, or even someone could come back to you from the past, bringing with them some kind of benefit, or it's something that's going to bear fruit. Okay, so that may be possible for you, because a return is about 12 years. It does a rotation round and then it comes back again. So something literally from about 10 to 12 years back, or even earlier than that, may come back now. It's something like a plan or an idea, or some activity that you wanted to do and it never came to fruition, it never happened, or it was shelved, or it was put aside, or it kind of died, something that didn't really come to pass. If none of that is applying for you, then this card brings in a lot of positivity, joy, luck. You're going to receive a lucky breakthrough of some kind. A reward could come in for you. It's also very well aspected for good fortune. Opportunities are going to come as well, but you're going to have to be quick. You're going to have to seize the moment. So when you see the opportunity, go after it. Not every opportunity is going to be the right one, but you're going to have to look at them all. You still have to work at it with this energy. You can't just sit back and be complacent or just let things carry you. You do have to work at it. You have to anchor whatever's coming in for you. You've got to anchor it down for yourself, nail it down and secure it to you, because it can easily pass through very quickly and be gone. So seize the moment. This card can also just be literally about having faith, having strength. And it could also be a relief card. So you could have been going through really tough time, and then this comes in to bring relief. If this is a physical body issue, and if this is a kind of a health thing, but a physical body thing, you may be getting relief from something that has been bothering you for a long time, or it could be a health issue or an old injury or just something. You could be getting relief from that. Jupiter can bring either a medical or some kind of breakthrough or a remedy or something which will help you to get this under control. It could also bring in a rescue energy, which is literally something that had died gets rescued from the flames. That can happen with this as well. Just be aware with Jupiter, overindulgence is possible at this time. Overspending, anything over the top, anything excessive comes in with Jupiter. It brings in wonderful things, but it can also take you over the edge as well. So just be aware of overindulgence, overspending, or overeating, anything like that. And at this time of the year, it's entirely possible as well. Then in the second house, we have North Node, life's purpose. So the North Node is a wonderful card to be having, especially in the second house. Second house is your house of your income, your money coming in, or your abundance, how that comes in for you. Whether you're earning it or you're earning it passively, however. It's also the house of self-worth, and it's the house of your values, what you value in yourself, what you value in others, your value systems. It's also the house of ownership, so what you own and possess. It also goes to land and property and real estate. It all falls in under the second house. So North Node, life's purpose, is purposeful change is going to come in for you now. So whether you're actually purposefully moving and changing something, or it's going to bring in a change for you, but it will be quite rapid. You're also going to find yourself right place, right time with this card. It's almost like, yes, it's time, and you will somehow find yourself where you need to be. It brings in positive karma. So whatever from the past, whatever you have done, whatever you have generated for yourself in others that is positive is going to come back to you now. Doors opening, good fortune, even hidden talents and skills may be coming up at this time. But it's a fate and a destiny card. So, whatever is destined for you is going to come to you. And it's a fortuitous time for that. Things may just fall in your lap. It's a very, very positive card. Really, a wonderful thing to be having in your second house. So take full advantage. Go after your goals. Take full advantage of everything that is coming to you at this time and really put it to good use. Because ultimately, this is going to lead you forward into the future. And especially since we're going into 2020 now, this is all very auspicious. And it really, whatever is going down in this house is going to give you that push forward, and your path becomes open. Obstacles are lifted, things like that. It's a clearing energy to move you forward. Then in the third house we have water element sensing. So the third house is your house of communication, and that's all forms: written, verbal, body language, online. It's also the house of documents and contracts. It's also the house of short trips, local journeys. So going to short trips to a water body like a lake or a river or the ocean, and things like that. It's going to be very helpful for you at this time. So with this card coming in, when it comes to your communication, it can be to anybody really around you, your general expression, but it can also be to specific people or a wider audience or a big audience. Or it can be to specific family members like general relatives, but siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins are indicated, and also neighbors and neighborhoods. Okay, so now with this card coming in, you're going to need to follow your senses and your gut feelings at this time. If there are obstacles in your path, just flow around them. You've got that lovely, easy flowing energy. Just go around whatever is standing in your path, and you've got that ease of flow now. So go with the flow. You're also going to be very sensitive at this time. Any water element makes you very, very sensitive. So because of that, you're going to need to take regular time outs. Just withdraw to give yourself time and space to formulate what it is you're going to say or what it is you're going to express. Okay, you may need to just watch your boundaries at this time. Because of you're going to be feeling a bit more compassionate, more sensitive, more understanding, and you're going to be displaying that or possibly expressing that. And other people may take advantage of you at this time and think that you are a soft touch right now. So just be careful that doesn't happen. So put your boundaries in. There's nothing wrong with being compassionate and understanding, but don't allow others to walk all over you at this time. This is a wonderful time to rest and dream. Research is very good right now. And just play and be creative. Your artistic expression is going to be, very good to take action on that, to actually be doing that. Your imagination. This is a wonderful, wonderful time for meditation as well. Planning. It's not a time for action in this house. This is a planning phase. It's the pause before you need to be doing things. So gather your resources, do your research, and gather your energy, because your energy is going to be quite low at this time. This is preparation for when you do need to take action, which is coming. So as I said, enjoy short trips to water. Take your time and spend time in the water or near water, just to give your energy a boost and have that time out. Then in the 4th house, we have Capricorn IUs. 4th house is the house, your home and your family, or your house, your physical house. So it's the actual structure, or it could be the home where you are currently residing. It's also the atmosphere in the home, the people in your home. And it also, this house also relates to the relationship you have with your family, your roots, your foundation, your ethnic identity, or your ancestry. Okay. With the Capricorn IUs card, it's asking you to be resourceful at this time. So harness whatever is going on in this house. Harness your resources. If it's your physical structure and you're perhaps wanting to build something, because this Capricorn is very much it's an ambitious and it's a building sign. You may want to be physically changing the structure of your house, and you need to be gathering your resources in order to do that. So this is about harnessing that energy, whether it's renovation and you're looking for parts for your house, or whether you're actually being resourceful about the finances, your time, your energy, whatever it is. But don't give up on your goals in this house. Make best use of whatever is happening and the energies around you at this time. So even if it's support from others, okay? So this is about building. It's about putting structures in place, dreaming big. You're going to be needing patience and determination as well to achieve what you need to in this house, or just be having patience in general with even the people and the atmosphere in your house at this time, or your home. When it comes to relationships, relationships with your family, your roots, or your foundation, or anything like that, you need to harness the strength of that. As I said, you may, for some people, their ancestry and their ethnic identity is hugely important in their lives. And this is about the traditions of that, the strength of the family circle, your ancestry, and so on, pulling on that to move you forward. That may be very, very important for you at this time. It could also be that you have an authority figure in your home life, or in your family tree, which is kind of important, and they may have a fatherly aspect to them. And this may be important for you at this time from a guidance or a strength point of view, or just to provide strength or give you systems or structure in some way. That could also be about traditions, strong traditions that you have in your home or in your family, your family setup, your roots and your foundation. There could be very strong traditions there, which may or may not serve you at this time. So the ones that are serving you, those are the ones that you're going to be needing right now. Or it could be that you are requiring to change that, because there could be a bit of a stubborn attitude. Capricorns can be very stubborn, so it could be a bit of a stubborn attitude towards that. You need to look at it and see what is serving you at this time. Also, this card can bring in the past, things to do with the past, and spending more time in the past than in where you need to be. You need to be present to move forward. So you can look back at the past to get wisdom and understanding from that, but you do need to be moving forward right now with this card. Then in the 5th house, we have Mercury retrograde reinvention. 5th house is the house of your children, if you have children, or it could be the conception of children, anything to do with children really, whether they're your children or other children that you're kind of around at this time. It's also the house of creative expression, your creative expression, your originality, your individuality, your artistic expression as well comes in there. So we all use our creativity all day, every day in all aspects, whereas artistic expression is a slightly different sort of situation. The two can be together, or you can just be purely a creative person, not necessarily arty, you know. So it's all about that, your stamp on things. It's also the house of love affairs and what goes on in that, and also the house of all fun recreational activities that you may be involved in at this time. It could be a sporting or club events as well, or any kind of sporting endeavor. It's also the house of speculation. So this is gambling and stock market, stock exchange, that kind of thing. So now, with Mercury retrograde reinvention, this is avoid, what it's saying to you is avoid new actions or launches of any kind. It may not be the entire month. It may just be a period of the month for like a week or so. But you will know when this energy is with you and when it's moved off, because things tend to go wrong. Things you may say or write could be misinterpreted, or emails get lost, that kind of thing, or they just don't get delivered or get misinterpreted, as I said. So when that energy is with you, then that's normally the indication that this energy is around. So it's just telling you to avoid new actions and launches at this time, because the chances of it going wrong are very, very high. It's a very unpredictable energy. It's also a time to go back to the drawing board about something that you want to do. It's not the time to do it now. You need to go back. You need to go over it again and again and refine it, because you're going to pick up mistakes or errors or just a better way of doing things, so that when you do come out with this new action or plan or whatever it is that you're going to do, it's going to be better than what you had to begin with. So there's a review, rewrite, recreate energy associated with this card. Check all your communications at this time, because you can be misinterpreted, you can be misunderstood, you can your emails, your contracts and your documents and things, there could be some issue there. Back up all your technology and your electronics at this time in this to do with this house. Avoid big purchases right now. And it could be your children going through this as well, and you're seeing this, avoid big purchases, because more than likely you'll have to take it back. It doesn't work, or it doesn't function, or something happens to do with it, and you'll have to take it back. It could also be that people from your past are popping up again. They're coming back into your life for whatever reason. So it's kind of a review energy. It's a wonderful time for reviewing things, to go back to the drawing board and just to plan rather than to launch or to take new action at this time. Then in the 6th house we have earth element stability. 6th house is the house of your workplace, work colleagues, and the mastery of your craft. It's also the house of your health and diet and your lifestyle. It's also the house of pets. Apologies for the sirens, really a bad day for that. Okay, so earth element stability. So coming in, this is a very stabilizing influence, or you need to bring this in to your life at this time. You may be tested right now, so you need to stand firm and be rooted in what you're doing right now. There is growth and there is possibility coming up with this, but you're going to need to put systems in place. You're going to need to be organized. You're going to need to take responsibility for things and show your reliability as well. There's a nurturing energy with this as well. And that applies across the board, whether it's to your pets or to your health and your diet, your lifestyle, or to, in your workplace. There's a kind of a nurturing for your own purposes, but also for the people around you. You could be meeting very powerful or important people at this time. You could be wanting to go into business, or you are going into business at this time. Money matters are highlighted right now. So it could also be that you need to examine stubborn or old, like fixed views. They could be outdated or old-fashioned or just not appropriate at this time. So examine these views And don't be afraid to try new things, because action is required now. And this is fresh action to bring fresh energy in for you. So don't be afraid to try things. You can't just keep plodding along doing and applying the same knowledge all the time. You do need to lighten things up and try new things. So let go of your fears in that regard. Nature and earth is very important with this card. So anything to do with that, spending time in nature or nature activities, or perhaps it's to do with your work. Earth activities, real estate, property, land, living on the land, working the land, growing things on the land, growing things for yourself, or just being involved in that as a career. From a health and lifestyle and a diet point of view, the body is important with the earth element. And it came up earlier on that there may be some health issues that you need to address right now. It could be allergies, or some kind of autoimmune, or not necessarily life-threatening, but other issues that you must address now. So take responsibility for your health. Eat healthier. Eat your foods closest to their form in nature. So avoid the processed things. Go for fresh foods. Grow your own food if need be, if that's going to help you, because getting your hands in the soil and looking after yourself and spending time choosing your fruits and vegetables and all of that is going to help you, to lighten the energies in your body and ultimately help you in the end. Then in the 7th house we have Moon Soul. 7th house is the house of your relationships, your close personal one-on-one relationships. So this can be a committed partnership like a marriage, or it can be a partnership as in a business, or some other partnership or relationship that is with you at this time. So with the Moon Soul coming in, this is a very reflective card. It's almost like a psychic card. It's tuning into the moon's energies, but it also is a cyclical card. So things may be going in cycles in your relationships right now. So you've got to just learn to tune in and master those cycles. It could also be highlighting your habits in your relationships and in your life, and how you relate to another person. So your habits could be highlighted at this time. Also your moods. Watch your moods right now. You don't want to come across as crabby and touchy, If you are exhibiting that, or your partner is exhibiting that, then communicate about it and deal with it. You may need to retreat periodically with this card. So go into your shell, withdraw to gain balance. And it may be you as a couple need to do that, or one or either of you in the partnership may need to do that periodically. This card is also about building resilience, being resilient. There may be high emotion at this time going on, sensitivity. The past and memories may be very important at this time. Again, you can look at the past, you can look at your memories, but you can't live there. You take what you can from it and keep moving forward. Something may be revealed at this time, almost like a secret or something that was hidden, because under the moon's rays, sometimes things can be revealed. You could also have a mother or female influence in your relationship at this time, or something that's influencing it, or it's the feminine. So it's like it's the motherly wisdom or the feminine wisdom, or motherly or female issues may be coming up for you, or even domestic issues. So you may be having domestic disputes or domestic things that need to be sorted out. Birthing does also come up with this, whether this is actual birth or whether birthing new ideas or birthing new conditions. But nurturing is always important, your health, your diet, and looking after yourself and the other person. So there's a kind of almost like a mothering energy coming in there as well. But nurturing and being protective of your significant other or in your partnership or this other relationship, sort of a protective influence, security, shyness, and feeling safe. All of these things come up with the moon card. Then in the 8th house we have Leo, I will. The 8th house does kind of carry on from the 7th house, because that is a deeper commitment. This is about the merging of your material and emotional resources when you have a commitment like that, whether it's a love partnership or a business partnership. So it's the merging of your emotional and your physical resources. Sexuality also falls under the 8th house, all forms of sexuality. It's also the house of death. It can be a physical death, but it more often than not is normally a symbolic. It's also the house of birth or rebirth. So something coming like a regeneration or a renewal in some way. It's also the house of finance. So this is your insurances, investments, taxes, accounting, banking, assets, legacies, and inheritances fall under this house as well. So with Leo, I feel this is going to, if you're looking at it from a luxury point of view, because Leos love luxury, just be careful with overspending or blitzing on, if you're going to be receiving abundance coming into it, came in your 2nd house. So be careful how you allocate that funding, how you allocate that abundance, because the Leo can be very extravagant, love of luxury. So you could be overindulging in things which you don't really need at this time. Okay, so just assess that, have a check in place that you are actually meeting all your basic needs and everything is provided for, and then you can be looking at where you're investing, how you're doing things, and so on. So it may be this may be appropriate from that point of view. But it is also, this card, can also be that you are in the spotlight in some way. Or you could be the center of attention in some way. But there's also fun and creativity and confidence coming in with this card. So this could be in this partnership that you're in. Perhaps you are the leader in it. Or you're just bringing in a lovely fun and creative energy to this partnership. But there's confidence there, there's a sunny outlook, there's warmth, and there's like a romantic energy going on as well. This card can also be about pride, all right? So just, you may be taking pride in what it is you are doing in this house, or it could be that excessive pride is getting in your way. This card is also about honoring and yourself and others, and also strength. It brings in the strength, to the Leo, the lion. You may be recognized in this house as well for something that you've done, or just being appreciated in general. Children can sometimes come in with this energy as well. Just see how that you may be investing for your children, something like that. It also brings in the arts, stage work, any kind of putting yourself out there. So the arts are all indicated. I mean, this may be an investment for you, or you're going into partnership, something to do with that. But all artistic endeavors are highlighted with this. It is also asking you to be spontaneous. You may need to stand up and be counted in this house in some way, or put your best foot forward in whatever way that is, however it's coming up for you in the 8th house. Then in the 9th house we have Saturn Truth. 9th house is the house of all things international and foreign. It's also you meeting the world, or the world meeting you in some way. It's about higher education, university education, or adult education. It's about religion, philosophy, belief systems. It's also the house of finding the truth, seeking the truth, or meaning and purpose in things, whether that's through learning or whether that's through intuition, because this also rules intuition, this house, or the study of philosophy and religion and so on. This house is also about teaching, publishing, and promotional work, or public relations. It's the house of the law, which may be a learning aspect for you, or you could be involved in it, maybe a practitioner of the law. It's the house of the higher courts, or you could be involved in a legal situation of some kind. It's also the house of your relationship to your in-laws, so it's kind of there's a seeking process to this. It's sort of a widening of your understanding, faith and wisdom and so on. So now with Saturn Truth coming in, it is a reality check coming for you in this house. So you need to apply this in some way. It could be something to do with what you're planning. You could be planning an international trip, Or you could be planning an adventure of some kind, because adventure and exploration are also falling into this house. So you could be planning to launch something or publish something or some big project you're taking on, but it's a big project. The thing is, you may need to just have a reality check about it. Make sure your needs and wants don't overwhelm, all right? Because this is very much a streamlining card. This is not an extravagant card. So you're going to have this issue here with your 8th house, which is a financial card, and this is extravagance. And this card in this house is saying to you no. So there's a kind of a restriction going on. You need to put systems and structure in place with this card. It could be just to do with something that you're trying to do, or you could be experiencing restriction or limitation in some way with what you're learning. And this is about putting the work in. You may be learning something and you've really got to study hard, or you've got to apply yourself greatly in some way. But once you do that, once you put your shoulder to the wheel and actually really apply yourself with Saturn, you can achieve brilliance. You can achieve amazing results because you're putting the work in. You may feel a bit unappreciated with what you're doing. There could be a bit of a hard slog going on, constant grind. But the rewards are great. If you apply yourself, Saturn will bring you incredible rewards. Even if it's just experience and knowledge, and your ability to manage yourself and your structures and your systems. And you can lay incredible foundations for the future with this card. So foundations for life. They must be strong, the foundations that you are laying, because anything that is built on a wobbly or insecure foundation will fall away under the rays of Saturn. Okay, so any kind of project or trip or whatever it is that you're planning in this house, it must be built on realistic expectations, realistic funding, and realistic goals. Okay. You could also be experiencing delays or some kind of frustration in this house. Patience is required with Saturn. There's no quick fix. Okay. Then in the 10th house, we have Pisces, I believe. 10th house is the house of your career, your fame, your reputation, and your public status. It's also the house of authority figures, whether this is somebody personally in your life, like a father figure or a mother, or it could be somebody else, or it's somebody that in your career or your job, or you're in the greater public, like a famous person. It can also bring in authoritative institutions like banks, government, the law, or military. So with Pisces, I believe what this is saying to you is that possibly self-belief is important at this time. You may just have to surrender to what is going on in this house, because there may be sort of unknown circumstances, or things are just a bit not clear. All right, it's a very watery sign. Okay, so it's you may just have to surrender to what is going on. Your path may not be clear right now, but across the board, whatever goes down, strive for clarity in all things with Pisces around, because the tendency to slip into confusion or illusion or deception, or to see that going on around you, is quite strong under the Pisces influence. Things just don't seem clear. You can't really get clarity on things. It could also be that there's a draining influence in the environment around you. So somebody could be draining you with their complicated circumstances. Put your boundaries in. Pisceans sometimes don't have strong boundaries, so make sure your boundaries are in. There could be victim consciousness around you, whether it's yourself or you're seeing it in your environment. Just steer clear of that and withdraw, retreat. Okay, block yourself and be a compassionate and understanding, but don't allow anybody to take advantage of you. Your spirituality and your connection to the divine could be very, very strong at this time. That may be a part of your career. You may be required to bring that into whatever it is that you do as part of your career or your profession. So spirituality, connection to the divine, imaginative abilities will be highlighted, fantasy, illusion. So, if you're involved in the film industry, or if you're a writer, then that is wonderful, using all those faculties to push you forward. The arts and filmmaking and all those sorts of aspects, artistic abilities, are all highlighted under the Pisces influence. Then in the 11th house, we have air element communicating. So 11th house is your house of friendships. It's the house of your personal hopes and dreams, but also your hobbies and your interests and everything around that. Your contacts, your networks, and any group activities that you may be involved in. So this can be associations, societies, clubs, or online social groups, any kind of activity related to that. The 11th house is also about global consciousness or group consciousness, social reform. It's also the house of being sensitive to trends. So trends in society, trends in general, universal trends, or any kind of trend. You kind of be, you kind of sort of are sensitive to that in some way. So you may just be observing it, or maybe part of your profession. So with the air element coming in, it's got a kind of a, it's about air, so it's always about communication, all right? So you may be needing to exercise this in some way, whether it's in your friendships or in your, expressing your hopes and dreams to do with your hopes and your hobbies and your interests, or it could be in a group setting, or to do, connecting with your contacts and your networks. There's some kind of communication required here. Technology and electronics come in with this as well. So possibly you need to disseminate the information that you are wanting to transmit, whether it's your brand or what you've got to say or what you're involved in, needs to be on a platform of some kind, or you're expanding in that some way. So communication is very important. It is the card of manifestation, this. So this is positive self-talk and positive thoughts. Then your thoughts come before your words. So make sure your words are based on your positive thoughts. There must be positive words, because then whatever is positive for you, you're going to be able to manifest. Okay, you don't want to manifest negative things. All right. So be very strong about that. It's a habit actually to get into. So make sure you are doing that. It's also it could also be that you need to apply reasoning, mental effort to what is going on in this house. You may need to research things, all right? You also may need to express what it is you want and what you expect at this time in words or in writing, okay? But you're going to have to be quick thinking, because this is an air element. You could also be traveling. At this time, something to do with travel comes up with this, specifically air travel, but it could be to mountainous areas. Ambition is very strong with this card as well. You could also be receiving news about something, or you're hearing gossip about something, because it's airwaves, all right? Just be careful with gossip and passing on things that you may hear, but it could also be that you're hearing something or receiving news about something. Then in the 12th house, we have void of course, moon missing. So this is a period during the course of the month. It won't be the whole month, I don't think, but there may be a period or a couple of periods of this that come up during the course of the month. But more specifically, it's normally about a week or so, where what it's asking you to do is to just retreat, and it's a wonderful time for meditation, for contemplation, and so on. And being in the 12th house, this is the house of that. Retreat, withdrawal, solitude, reflection, your spiritual life, meditation, mysticism, healing. It's the house of service to others as well. It's the house of escapism of all kinds. So whether you just escape within yourself to retreat and enjoy some quiet time, or whether you literally take an escape, whether it's like a retreat for yoga or something like that. But it can also be too much of that. So that is complete escapism, checking out of realities and things and slipping into addictions and drugs and whatever. There could also be resolutions and endings in this house. It's the house of karmic lessons. It's the house of your experiences in institutions of all kinds. So that can be hospitals, governments, libraries, universities, prisons, anything like that. So your experiences there. So now with void of course, moon missing, it's saying This is a great time for meditation, for contemplation, resting, dreaming, making plans. It's not a good time for launching things or new actions. And this came up earlier on in your 5th house. So there's going to be a period of this going on. This is because the moon goes dark when it's between signs. It goes through a patch where it's dark, and you're not going to have the light of the moon to see clearly certain things. And so whatever you undertake or launch or focus on at this time will just go wrong, or so you'll get a wrong result or no result, or things will just, there will be delays and frustrations or wasted effort, even worse. Okay, so this is the house of your unconscious. So you may have things that you want to deal with, unconscious beliefs, unconscious motivations. You may be wanting to sort of focus on those. But it really is a very good time for meditation and working on the self, and from a rest and release point of view. Okay, actions and launching things is not going to be optimal during this period, whenever it falls during the month. Okay, it's a great time for rest and dreaming, contemplation. Okay, Aquarius, hope you enjoyed that. Please don't forget to like and share, or like and subscribe. And I wish you a wonderful month, and take care, and I will see you next time.